please raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you give today will be the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can go ahead and sit down. Please state your full name and spell it for the record.
Dustin, D-U-S-T-I-N, Duren, D-U-R-E-N.
Dustin, I wanted to start by asking you, are you a father?
Yes, to the loves of my life, my 2 daughters,
What are your 2 daughters' names?
Elowen and Valen.
How old are they?
They are currently 5 and 2.
Are you a veteran?
Yes, I am.
What branch did you serve in?
The Marine Corps.
When did you enlist?
So I enlisted right out of high school. So a week after I graduated high school at 18, I left for boot camp.
Where did you go to boot camp?
So this was in Camp Pendleton, California.
Did you do infantry training?
Yes.
Where did you go to infantry training?
So that was at the same place, Camp Pendleton, California.
In the Marines, did you receive training with firearms?
Extensive training, yes, to where you're expected to assemble, disassemble, load, fire with the highest of proficiency, and they drill it over and over and over to where they want it ingrained in you, to where it's instilled in you. It becomes instinctual.
What's instilled in you?
The use of your weapon, whether it's rifle, pistol.
Were you taught about firearm safety?
Yes. The Marine Corps specifically has 4 rules.
And what are they?
And this is something that I teach even just outside the Marine Corps, but these are rules that I think really everyone should follow. This isn't just a Marine Corps thing, but number 1, treat every weapon as if it were loaded. 2, never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot. 3, keep your fingers straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire. And 4, keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire.
And you've talked a little bit about it, but can you tell me, as a Marine, what familiarity with firearms were you expected to have?
Absolute familiarity. I mean, you spend a lot of time with it. You're expected to be combat ready, and that's something else with the Marine Corps, specifically to the Marine Corps of every Marine is a rifleman.
What does every Marine is a rifleman mean?
So, like I said, this is something specific to the Marine Corps. So it doesn't matter what your job is. So you could be a cook, but before you even go through your job training, you're expected to go through infantry training.
And what is the point of going through infantry training, regardless of specialty?
So that everyone is combat ready, is trained with a rifle, trained to be a warfighter first.
And is that different than other branches of the armed service?
Yes, yeah.
In boot camp, did you receive any recognition for your proficiency with firearms?
So right away in boot camp, I graduated as the battalion high shooter.
What does that mean?
So in our marksmanship course, I was the highest shooter out of our entire graduating class.
Does that mean you were the most proficient with a rifle of everyone
Yes,
you went
yes.
to boot camp with? Did you do any other type of combat training in boot camp or in infantry training?
So specifically in infantry training, you train with all sorts of different weapons. So we were training with like the M240 Golf, heavy machine gun, Mark 19, automatic grenade launcher. But and then 2, we in hand-to-hand combat, we have or close quarters combat, we have a program called MCMAP.
What is MCMAP?
And that is the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. And it's different from most other martial arts in that, specifically other martial arts, you're learned to incapacitate, or get away. And with McMap, you're specifically trained to kill, really by any means. But this is in the use with just your hands, or with pistols, with close quarters with a rifle, just everything close quarters related.
And let me just make sure I understood that right. The Marine Corps martial arts program, you're learning martial arts combining unarmed combat and weapons-based training?
Yes.
Let's jump from training to deployment. Where were you first deployed?
So I was first deployed to Japan, Okinawa, Japan.
Did you do any firearms training or qualifications in Japan?
Yes. So every year, again, regardless of what your job is, you're expected to go through an annual marksmanship training and qualification. So right away, once I got to Japan, then I did the annual qualification. But then again, I was squadron high shooter, and they tagged me and asked me if I wanted to become a coach.
Why were you asked to become a coach?
Again, really, it's I was just kind of tagged, like people noticed with me being the squadron high shooter.
So because of your proficiency with
Yeah,
firearms?
yes.
What did you have to do to become a coach?
So there's the combat marksmanship coach course. You go really beyond what you would normally go through, or the training or the qualification. You do much more, whether it's like just regular target practice, or you could be doing moving targets, yourself moving, but a lot more in detail. And then you're also taught specifically how to teach others.
How did you do in the coach's course?
So again, in the coach's course, I was again the highest shooter, and beating out. There's mainly a lot of other infantry Marines, but there's also specifically there's two Force Recon Marines there, which Force Recon that's it's basically like Navy SEALs or Army Rangers of the Marine Corps.
So you outshot the Marine version of the Navy SEALs in the coaches training course?
Yes.
After you took the coach's course, did you serve as a marksmanship coach?
Yes, I did.
How did you serve as a coach?
Again, then at that point, I was a combat marksmanship coach. It was just called like a B billet, but it was secondary to my normal job. But I would then train other Marines in this annual qualification, or whenever Marines need to qualify, and ended up teaching hundreds of Marines.
And what did you teach hundreds of Marines to do?
To perfect their shooting, their proficiency with rifle or pistol.
During your time in the military, can you estimate how often you discharged a weapon, or how many times?
Thousands, probably tens of thousands.
And what did discharging a firearm tens of thousands of times do?
And it gets instilled in you to where, like, I guess you could say you could do it in your sleep. It's just so ingrained in you that they really want you to do it with basically without conscious thought. Like it just, it's so drilled in you over and over.
What were you trained to use a firearm for?
To eliminate threats.
Besides Japan, where else were you deployed?
So I was deployed all over the Pacific, so Philippines, Thailand, Korea, and then also to Kuwait and Iraq.
When were you deployed to Iraq?
So this would have been 2008.
Where in Iraq were you stationed?
There's a Marine base called Al Assad.
Did you experience any violence or danger in Iraq?
So at the time, 2008, the big things then were IEDs, or improvised explosive devices, and mortar attacks. And then I did take small arms fire from a helicopter, small arms being like rifles, AK-47. And then specifically for my job as an aircraft recovery specialist, we dealt with plane crashes or like emergency landings, which happened when I was there.
And you said you took small arms fire from a helicopter. Does that mean you were shot at while you were in a helicopter?
Yes, yes.
Did anything else traumatic happen while you were in Iraq?
Yes, so I was back at sort of our home area. So when you're in Iraq, you're basically just working 24/7.
If there's a pending question, it is withdrawn, subject to being rephrased.
Do you have PTSD?
I do.
Is your PTSD service connected?
It is.
How does your PTSD affect you?
I have severe depression, specifically bouts of severe depression, which affects really just everyday life, but to include just everything, even from like maintaining jobs, stuff like that.
And when did you start experiencing symptoms of your PTSD?
Real symptoms, probably once I got out of the Marine Corps. I guess, well, no, actually, probably not. I guess I'll rephrase that. Immediately afterwards, I'm questioning what I can say, but
The question in front of you, just, I think, ask it as narrowly, answer as narrowly
Okay.
as you can, is when did you first start experiencing symptoms from your PTSD?
okay. With that direct question, immediately afterwards.
Immediately after you were discharged from the Marine Corps?
Well, no, immediately after the event itself.
Immediately after the event itself?
Yes.
And what year was that?
2008.
That was while you were in Iraq?
Yes.
When did you get a diagnosis of PTSD?
Officially, this would have been 2021 or 22.
So after almost 15 years of experiencing symptoms?
Yes, yes.
When were you discharged from the Marines?
So this would have been 2011. I was honorably discharged in 2011
You were honorably discharged at what rank?
as a sergeant.
After leaving the Marines, where did you move?
I moved to Los Angeles, California, that's where I got my degree in audio engineering, and then I was almost immediately hired at Fox Sports as a post-production audio engineer.
Were you experiencing symptoms of PTSD or depression while you lived in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Where did you live after LA?
So afterwards, which this was just part of my sort of severe depression, but I ended up moving to Las Vegas, Nevada, and that made sense just for my work and also working as an event technician, so working at for like corporate events and music events in Vegas.
How was your mental health when you first moved to Vegas?
It was
Objection. Relevance.
Approach. Overruled.
Dustin, how was your mental health when you first moved to Vegas?
It was extremely bad. So that was part of why my move happened, but it only got worse as I was there. And along with another traumatic event, that's when I had a suicide attempt.
Were you hospitalized after your suicide attempt?
Yes.
Where did you go after was it a psychiatric hospitalization?
Yes.
Where did you go after your psychiatric hospitalization?
So this was a little bit afterwards. My parents were trying to convince me to live with them, to come back to Minnesota and basically just try to take care of myself, take care of my health, and just be with family for a while. So it took a few months afterwards, but eventually I agreed and moved back to Minnesota, and this would have been November, December of 2018.
You moved back to Minnesota in November or December 2018?
Yes.
When did you meet Caitlin?
So this was shortly afterwards, maybe about this, well, yeah, it would have been like 3 months later, February of 2019.
Where did you meet?
So it was at a bar, and I remember it specifically because the Super Bowl was on.
Did you two start dating?
Yes, probably about a week or two later.
When did Caitlin get pregnant?
Almost immediately. So I think I found out it's probably April of 2019.
How did you feel when you found out that Caitlin was pregnant?
There was a mix of emotions. So this was not planned. This was unexpected. So I was kind of anxious about it, but at the same time, I got pretty excited about just having a family, starting a family.
Had you always planned on having a family?
I did. Came a little early, but yes.
And was Caitlin pregnant with your daughter, Elwyn?
Yes.
Did you and Caitlin move in together once you found out she was pregnant?
Yeah, so I don't remember the exact time, but it probably was around that time, April 2019, in which she moved in with me at my parents' house.
How were you involved during the pregnancy?
I tried to be involved as much as possible. I was going to all the doctor's appointments, just trying to take care of Caitlin as much as I could. Just like her being happy makes the baby happy. So just, trying to take care of her as much as I could as well.